Hello once again, Brian from Elektor TV, and this time I'm with my old friend Andrei Aldea, who's currently head of Satara Ecosystem Development. How are you?
Hi, pleasure. Doing great. How are you?
I'm good, thanks. I have been stalking you on social media, or not exactly stalking, but your stuff has popped up, and this is very exciting. I've seen it on LinkedIn. Tell me about this.
So this is our new development board with BeagleBoard. It's the AM62L-based BeagleBadge. The goal of it is to be a very approachable development platform. So if you just pick it up, it's a fun badge. It's a little game console. It's something that anybody can understand. But if you actually want to learn about the processor, low power modes, learn ARM development, then it's a great starting point where you can go as deep as you want. And there's plenty of accessories that you can attach to it, grow the ecosystem, and just kind of use your imagination to build whatever you want with something that uses an e-ink screen and low power.
Yeah, and we looked at it. We saw a picture of it and saw e-ink display. Okay, well, what's so fancy about that? Then we checked out the specs and mind blown, the number of peripherals, the processing power. Tell us a bit about the actual technical specs.
Yeah, so it's a dual-core A53 processor running full Linux if you want, or Zephyr. The current demo we have is running Linux. There's CC33 TI-based Wi-Fi 6 and BLE 5.4. You also have Meshtastic and LoRa sub-gigahertz for long-range comms. You can add boards via QWIIC headers, GPS add-on via UART. It's really meant to be expandable. You also have full USB because, of course, it's running Linux, micro click hats. So really, you can actually expand this however you want. It's just there is a limited peripheral set based on the Pocket Beagle 2 tech lab that you can use the existing curriculum for just to use the existing sensors, right? So there's some 7-segment displays, temperature, humidity, things that get you started, right? So you don't need anything external to start playing with it and learn about embedded Linux or Zephyr with it.
Yeah, and the things that get you started are the least interesting because it's so well peripheral kitted out. What was the use case for that? Why do you need something so much power and so many peripherals in such a small device?
So the idea was basically to just let users use their imagination and for us to enable demos really easily. So when you have somebody going out to explain the device, you don't actually just need to have, all these external accessories to it. You can just have them show, maybe a running thermostat demo that's just kind of attached to the wall with the ink screen and its low power, or maybe you're trying to show EV charging, you're trying to do any kind of like medical application. It's just easy to just either plug nothing in or plug just one device in and then use this as an HMI interface in a very easy to read form. And it's great because, for example, this badge right now is off, right? You're seeing the sleep mode. So this is sipping power. You could rely on this for 30 days plus and then just wake it up and you get back to it. But otherwise, if you have it in full running mode like with this, you can take the board kind of thing, just run a game like Doom, because everyone asks, does it run Doom? And yes, it runs Doom on an e-ink screen.
Well, that's crazy. I've never seen Doom on an e-ink screen.
Here it is. So we can get it full started here, and then it's a little hard to see because obviously black and white. But I do have colleagues that actually remember how the Doom levels are structured, and he's played through like just straight first level. I was like, oh yeah, of course I remember.
I remember too. The number of colors was 256, 320 by 200, I think.
Exactly. And this is a 300 by 400, so slightly stretched, slightly higher resolution.
So you got the high resolution. I know what your next upgrade is for the system, color e-ink.
Oh yes, that would be the next step. They're a little slower, but we're looking at that in the future.
And now, mentioning sipping power, could you show us the back and the battery?
Oh yeah, absolutely. So I can show you in this badge while that's booting Pokemon over there. So it uses Nokia style batteries. So this is just a standard Nokia BL5C style battery. They're commonly available, easy to swap. They're safe because they're lithium ion and hard packs. And part of it is repairability, right? So you don't need to worry about anything like that. Charges via USB-C, like you'd expect. And you have access to the full board. You can actually even add external DSI displays if you want to later. You can boot from either the onboard OSPI if you're trying to do something kind of low memory intensive, or you can just boot from the micro SD card here, so you can just pop it in.
And the DSI display port, what sort of speed would you run at? I mean, obviously the e-ink is a bit slower.
Yeah, so you can do a full 1080p 60 Hz panel off the DSI interface if you want to.
Amazing. So that's great. And changing tack a bit, another thing I saw at the DigiKeep booth was some sort of $1 processor board that you've got.
Yeah, exactly. So we have the MSPM0-based Zepto board, which are these little guys, and you might notice that they have something in common with the badge, which is two little quick headers on top. So what these let you do is, aside from just being something like a PyDebug Pico probe, is you can also use them as little sensor extenders. So you can connect them via QWIIC over I2C, and there's some software magic going on here, which lets us extend all the peripherals like UART, SPI, etc., from a micro-QWIIC hat, for example, that you can plug into it, and then make it magically appear in Linux over I2C. So you can daisy chain a whole bunch of these for just $1 each, and all of a sudden you have a lot of clipboards you can add, and it's kind of up to your imagination. They get picked up natively in Linux as long as there's a driver.
And you're at a great price point on both. It's $1 and $100, and obviously a difference in capability there. As the old saying goes, what will they think of next?
Absolutely. I mean, it's a big expandable ecosystem, and at this price, I think it's kind of a no-brainer to at least try and evaluate with. It really makes it affordable to add a whole lot of sensors to the $99 badge, right? To just put in multiple dollar daisy chain devices with your micro-QWIIC hats, and it makes for a really easy development environment. There's really low. The idea is to have a very low barrier of entry, right? We want everybody to play with them. We want the community to upstream stuff, to contribute. And part of that is driving costs down, right? Making sure that everyone can afford it. You don't need to be a company to be able to buy a couple. You can have education, take advantage of it.
Well, if I know you, you will think of something next. So thanks very much for meeting with me, Andrei, and I hope to see you soon.
Absolutely, pleasure.